I remember I showed up to the hospital finally and everyone was in the waiting room. His entire family huddled against each other, dabbing tears from their eyes. They pointed me to the right door, but before I went in, Jason's mother told me, "Whatever you do, don't tell him." I entered the wing and Jason was sitting there, on his bed in his undignified hospital gown. This wasn't a well-built hospital. I could see paint peeling off the walls. He was the only patient in the room. I approached his bed and sat down in front of him. I tried to think of what to say, but what could one say? A lifelong friendship couldn't be wrapped up in a single conversation. Jason spoke first, looking me dead in the eye. "Am I going to die?" he said. It was more of a statement than a question. "No," I gasped out. But I had hesitated. I could see it in his eyes. He knew the truth. "If you were going to die, I would tell you the truth," he told me, his voice beginning to crack. "Because one deserves to know if they're going to die." Without a single falter, he repeated himself, in his same monotonous voice. "Am I going to die?" "No," I replied again, begging that Jason would believe it. "Well, why don't I ask the doctor?" Jason asked the doctor, who told the same obvious lie that I had motioned for him to tell. But it was too obvious. Jason and I looked each other dead in the eye, and I felt an immense wave of despair overcoming both of us. "How could you lie to me like that?" he demanded. "You are my best friend. You know things about me no one else does. I trusted you, and you betrayed me." I felt the guilt build up inside me as Jason's eyes burned into my soul. "Get out of here," Jason demanded. "Doc, how long do I have?" 40 minutes at the most, came the reply. He had clearly expected a little longer. I stared at the man who had been my best friend my whole life. He would be gone soon. And then he ordered me away, and made everyone else leave the room. Jason was alone now, sitting in his hospital gown with paint peeling off the walls, and he knew he would probably be dead within half an hour. He imagined himself being put in a bag and dragged into a room where the hospital kept dead people. Jason got up and grabbed his clothes from the chair next to him, and he quickly changed into them. He put on his favourite shirt, favourite jeans, and favourite hoodie. If he was going to die, Jason was going to do so in proper clothes. He then began pacing around the room, despite the searing pain. Jason was going to keep walking until he could do so no more. He considered leaving the hospital, but they wouldn't let him do that. Jason began to think about what he had just done. He'd kicked his best friend away from his deathbed out of anger. What effect would that have on Derek? Knowing your best friend had hated you that much in his dying moments that he would kick you away from his deathbed. Maybe he deserved it. Derek had lied to him after all, but 55 years of friendship couldn't end like this. Derek had hit a low point on several occasions and nearly ended it. Jason had even saved Derek's life by texting him one night. Jason knew that he had to reconcile this, and he didn't have much time. Jason banged on the window. "Get Derek back in here!" I was on my way back to my car. I knew I should stay, but I just couldn't bring myself to be here. Not after what had just happened. I didn't know where I was going, I just had to get away. "Hey, Derek, stop! He wants you back!" I re-entered the room, afraid of what he might say. Jason stood in the centre of the room, looking perfectly normal, as if we were about to go for a normal Saturday night curry. "Derek," he said, "I'm sorry for all the things I just said to you." Why was he apologising to me? I had lied to him and now he felt the need to say sorry? "No," I retorted. "I am the one who needs to apologise." Jason was still furious at Derek, but he did his best to hide it. He would much rather die alone, but he couldn't kick Derek out again. They sat there and they talked, pacing around the room for an hour and a half. The doctor had underestimated Jason's remaining time. Finally, at about 1 p.m, Jason could no longer walk and his legs gave in. He cried out in pain and fell over. For 5 more minutes he lay on the ground, with his ability to speak gradually deteriorating. Finally, Derek cracked another joke and waited for Jason to laugh like he always did. But the laughter never came. Derek built up the nerve to look at Jason. It was finally over.